Hi, looking for the best business coach in San Francisco? I can help you with that search. And in fact, the key is in your answer to 3 questions. My name is Rodney Brim. I'm not a business coach, so this isn't about me. I'm an executive co-pilot. More about that later. But let's get to those 3 questions. The first question is simply this. What's the problem you want to solve? Maybe something that keeps you up at 2 a.m. in the morning. Maybe something that's got you feeling overwhelmed or under-recognized. Maybe it's something that's got you feeling defeated, like you've tried everything you possibly think of, and yet you still aren't getting the breakthrough you're looking for. As you identify that problem, ask yourself a second question, which is this really the core problem, or is there something underneath it? Often the problem to solve that's going to give you the most leverage when working with a business coach is a couple layers below our initial appreciation of what's got us feeling stuck. Second question. Second question is, what kind of relationship do you want with a coach? You see, actually, to get the best outcome of the coach, it needs to be someone you enjoy working with, someone you resonate with, not just create value from talking to. I use the word force to describe sort of the relationship criteria that helps me identify who I'm going to resonate with and vice versa, where the F stands for their high in follow-through, the O stands for high in openness to feedback, the R stands for resilience in the face of resistance to change, the C stands for continuity and stick-to-itiveness, and the E for ethics. I work best with people that are high in all those factors. On the other hand, you may be someone who's looking for a coach that's low in all those values. In fact, you may be looking just for a coach that you can bounce things off of, give you some creative options, has no expectations in terms of follow-through. You can show up whenever you need to and not show up again for another year if you don't need to. It's all up to you, but it's really helpful for you to define what kind of relationship and how frequently you want to work with a coach in your search for finding just the right coach for you. The third question is simply asking yourself, what do I need in terms of expertise and experience from a business coach that would make them the best resource for me, given what I'm facing? If you're interviewing me, you'd hear me say, well, I've been a psychologist for 20 years, and I've run software and consulting companies for 20 years. Then hopefully you'd say, okay, so what kind of companies have you worked with? And I'd say, well, I've worked at small businesses that are manufacturing based all the way up to the United Nations. But for the last 10 years, I've predominantly worked with technology companies, helping them get more out of people and their products. And then if you push further and said, okay, exactly how do you do that? I would say, well, I've got a whole toolbox full of tools I'd be glad to walk you through, but probably the most distinctive feature is that I work using a parallel track. That is, I help you and I work on your business objectives, but I also help you by working on yourself and your personal leadership skills. One more thing. As you're doing this initial interview, most coaches will give you a free first session. So you want to use that to tee up at least one problem and then ask them very specifically, how would you help me resolve this? Why do I want you to do that? Because the first experience with a coach is actually a wonderful predictor for what's going to be like in terms of working with them. It's probably not going to get a lot better or worse than your first experience, so listen and watch carefully. I hope all 3 of these questions serve you well in terms of finding just the very best business coach for you. One final comment in closing. I've mentioned business coach and executive co-pilot. What in the world do I mean, or what's the distinction between the two? As a business coach, I'd be standing on the sidelines if I was working with you, providing advice, feedback, critique, options, and coach. As an executive co-pilot, I come alongside executives and business owners I work with and really participate with them in completing the projects that are absolutely critical to make sure they reach the destination, we stay on track. This example, the last project we've been working on, we've helped an entire technology company across all 4 continents improve their workforce productivity by 12% in 6 weeks and maintain that throughout the entire production cycle. You don't get that work done standing on the sidelines. If, in fact, you're interested in a more active approach and you've decided this is the year I want to make it happen for myself, give me a call at the number below and let's set up a feasibility session. We'll talk about it for a good fit. Have a great year.